Good afternoon. This is Jimmy Doolin with another sit down today with James Robinson. James, how are you today?
Oh yeah.
Excellent, thanks. So you can just soon as the good "how are you" comes out of your voice, you can tell you're not a local guy. But licensed in 2006, is that right?
Yeah, so I started my real estate career in the UK in 2006, correct.
And then uh, as so many people do, fell in love with one of our beautiful Hoosier women and moved here and got your license in the States here in 2020,
Correct. Yeah,
April of 2020.
yeah, that's right. My first day was April 1, 2020.
So just as some unique, because you can add some perspective to it that others can't. Just give me a brief kind of highlight differences between UK real estate and Indiana real estate.
It's very different, but I suppose the main differences are in the UK, there's no buyer and seller representation. You only represent one side, and that's the seller. So the buyer has no representation at all throughout the process. You don't require a license in the UK. You just need a good resume, college degree. I mean, I started when I was 18. It was my first job. I just, walked in off the street to a number of different real estate offices with my resume in hand. Started the next day, was showing houses the next day. So the barriers to entry are significantly lower. And 99% of agents are employed by large firms in the UK rather than the self-employed model over here. And that's only started recently changing. So we're just starting to see the landscape change in the UK at the moment. And a few of my old compatriots that I worked with have started to move over to the self-employed side. But when I left, it was, there was barely any traction for the self-employed model.
So obviously, some great habits were formed there, because here we find ourselves approximately 6 months into your career, and you have almost eclipsed $10 million in closed business. And maybe by year's end, that happens. But regardless, it's a phenomenal start to a career. So you don't have like a big local following. So I'm not going to ask you about the 10 years of friends that you built in high school, because we've identified you recently moved here. So I guess my question is, what are you using, and why is that so successful, and how does that apply to the customer? Because clearly you're doing something the customer likes, because you're successfully helping lots and lots of customers.
Sure. Well, I think I've talked about previously in my company that I worked for. It was a very regimented structure, regardless of whether you were a trainee sales negotiator or a sales manager, even an area manager. You were expected. There was an expectation that you would consistently have output, essentially, and that output looked like 50 phone calls a day. And if you made 50 phone calls a day, you booked one property valuation or appraisal. And for every 2 appraisals that you went on, one would come onto the market, and for every 2 that came onto the market, one would sell. So it all stemmed back to the 50 phone calls. So, coming here, I knew that I didn't have the advantage of a network of friends and co-workers and, family members and whatnot. And I would have to make my own edge. And I simply carried through the same structures that I was adhering to in my previous company and implemented them here in Indiana.
So those create the opportunity, and I get that. So I understand the discipline around that. But what I'm more interested in at this point is you create the opportunity by making the 50 calls, right? It gets you in front of somebody. But when you're getting in front of somebody, that's what I'm interested in, because there are a lot of customers. I mean, you've closed a lot of real estate. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of people that have said, "Man, you're my guy." And so why do you think that is?
I'm just authentic, and I just look to speak to as many people as I possibly can who are looking to buy and sell their house, or buy and sell a house. And I think if you're having enough conversations with those people and you are authentic in what you do, then people will buy into that, and they do. So there's no, like I've said previously, there's no magic formula. I just talk to as many people as I possibly can, and it's people who are motivated.
So I got to think that clients have made comments that they like that you're proactive, that you're actively working to. I mean, if I have a property I want to sell, and you're proactively calling me to potentially get an opportunity to sit down and talk to me, then you're probably proactively looking for buyers for my property as well. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I got to think that people are drawn to that nature of, I mean, I don't want to phrase this incorrectly, but I think people phrase anybody who does things proactively as aggressive.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's generally a word that's used. Do you feel like that's fair?
Possibly. But like I said, I don't necessarily see that as a bad thing. I don't think that.
No, I don't think it bad either, but I
don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I think, and I don't think customers or clients necessarily think it's a bad thing as well. I mean, if they're looking to sell their home, they want someone who's going to, grab it by the horns and, and get them the best price and make sure the process is as smooth as possible. So I think, I think it's an advantage. If you're showing you're proactive, then clients will want to work with you.
That's exactly what I'm after, is that the phone calls create an opportunity. But in the end, I think what the phone calls really does for the customers, it tells them, if I go with this guy, he's not sitting around waiting for an opportunity to present itself.
Right.
And I think that's the message that 50 calls. I mean, they don't know you made 50 that day or 80 or 10 or whatever. They know you called them. So, but I think that message, it resonates with somebody who wants to sell, because I think what it does is it tells them that there's a proactive person who's working aggressively to create opportunity. And that opportunity is for them too.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
Favorite food here in the States?
Favorite food?
In the States.
Favorite restaurant, Brew Burger. I don't know about favorite food. Brew Burger, highly recommended.
And so what is it that all of us US folks need to try when we're in the UK? What kind of food do we need to try that is so special to your hometown?
A decent portion of fish and chips. I know you guys make an attempt at it over here, but it doesn't quite cut the mustard, I'm afraid.
So what's the best fish and chips you found here?
I'd have to fly 4,000 miles to have a decent portion of fish and chips.
Oh, okay. So we just don't get it right yet.
I don't think so. Like I said, there might be somewhere out there, and if anybody can tell me where it is, I'll be all ears.
You're game for it because it's something you like. So, is there? First of all, where did you decide to call home? Where are you residing these days?
Carmel.
Carmel. So, and you bought a home already, right?
Yeah, bought a home with Katie in September.
That's awesome. And Katie being your significant other. The boss, in other words.
Yes.
So I've had the pleasure of meeting her, and I know she to be a delightful lady. So you guys have made homestead in Carmel,
right?
And can't find fish and chips, but love Brew Burger.
Love Brew Burger.
So is there a particular? Have you found yourself geographically selling in a specific area more than others, or are you just kind of exploring the city, if you will?
Yeah, I mean, I think the majority of my business has been Carmel, Fishers, a little bit of downtown, Noblesville, Westfield. So, pretty local. But I'd say the vast majority, Carmel and Fishers.
And what's the neatest property you've been in? What, just like not an address, but maybe what was it that was neat about it?
There was a home that I closed recently where the husband designed and built the home 32 years ago in Fishers, and it was gorgeous. It was a standalone property. It's difficult to find one like it, and I loved marketing it. Had a great response, and found the perfect buyer.
That's neat. I don't know that I've had one where somebody did that, so that's really cool. Team, individual, how do you practice?
I'm an individual agent.
And so you obviously see some advantages to that. What do you think the advantage to your customer is in that particular case?
I think from the customer's point of view, I'm going and I'm, delivering the initial pitch, if you like, and talking about what I do as an agent. They buy into that and they buy into me as an agent, and they want to know that, I'm going to deliver on the process essentially. And at this stage, I feel comfortable with the level of business that I'm operating. I can continue to grow the business, but also provide the service that I want as an individual agent. I think in the future I'll look at potentially starting a team, but in the short to mid term, I'm going to stick as an individual agent.
So it gives you, so in other words, if I hire you, I'm communicating with you.
Correct.
There is obviously some strength in that, get to know that person really, really well. What are you seeing for 2021? How are you feeling about the upcoming year?
I'm feeling good. I mean, for me, it's just going to be a continuation of the same. I've got my habits. I'm going to continue to stay true to those habits. I personally don't expect the market conditions to change a huge amount. No one's got a crystal ball, of course, but it's looking like buyer demand is going to remain high, inventory is going to remain low. So I'm expecting more of the same, and I'm excited about what can be achieved.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. That's the way I would say that the upcoming year looks. There shouldn't be any major changes on the horizon. Rates are going to stay consistent. I think opportunity is going to stay as it is. However you view it today, it's probably how you're going to view it next year as well. So, how about hobbies? Are you a football guy, or what do you do for fun?
I'm a football guy / soccer. I'm going to stay true to my roots and continue to call it football. But I'm a big Liverpool fan, so that's my big passion, and I've managed to very much stay in touch with that over here. I have to wake up a little bit earlier for the games.
I was just going to say, what time do you have to watch that?
The earliest is 7 a.m. I get up at 2 or 3 a.m. if I needed to. I've got friends in Australia who do that, and I'd be doing exactly the same thing. I follow my club with a burning passion.
Gotcha. Well, I know that it is something that folks from your part of the world do follow with a tremendous amount of passion. So, hey, I want to thank you. I absolutely 100% expect amazing things as the future unfolds. Like you said, built good habits. You're treating people fairly. You're doing a good job for them. And the community's responding well to what you're doing. So I only anticipate a continuous bright future for you. And I especially appreciate you taking some time to spend it with me here today.
No, not at all. And I love being part of the team, part of Remax Ability Plus. So, for me, it's been a great journey. I'm excited to continue.
Sounds good. Take care and have a great day.
You too.